Hello, Internet. It has been a long time coming because we are back for the Gundam Roundtable. Of course, I'm Ironcaster. Here to dust off the mothballs and get back into the cockpit. This thing. Oh, and it feels good. How's it going, Fenrir?
Well, Private Fender reporting for duty on all this, and gotta say, I am sorry to the public for all the time we've been off on this. Honestly, life has hit us kind of hard, but we're back and we're gonna take this through.
And it's been kind of crazy in the last 3 months since we last did this. I mean,
To be honest, it's been so long that I even forgot about the intro. Honestly, it felt good seeing it again.
I mean, it's not only that. I have so much other stuff back here. All the buttons.
I don't need a kid to tell me how I should do my job. You're a selfish brat.
The slap. So long it has been.
Mm-hmm. It's a little kind of jarring coming back to this, trying to get back into the speed of doing the show to talk about some big robots. I mean,
yeah, it is.
And
it really is.
I'm missing this though. It's kind of getting back into it and talking about some Gundam and getting back into talking about some new stuff with people and sharing the things we love. That's what it's all about ultimately. Let's find the good stuff. Let's make the most of it.
Yeah, it is. It is. It really is a form of it is a refreshing amount of fresh air to just come back, sit for a little bit, and talk about something you like.
Oh, like 15, 16-year-old kids being shipped off to war in giant robots.
Yeah, pretty much just dying out there in space and in no plot armor unless for Amuro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll find out as time goes on that not everyone is entirely as, bulletproof and totally immune to all that as you would think. I mean, Tomino kind of gets a reputation, and he gets the nickname Kill 'em all Tomino eventually.
Yeah, honestly.
Things don't go well for a lot of people.
Yeah, especially if they're not freaking Amuro. God damn it. I'm still pissed off. They just keep killing my favorite members of the goddamn Trojan horse. Seriously, White Base, you introduce these guys, they're lovable, and then you just kill them off. It's just wrong. At least just keep them around for a little bit, man.
Well, obviously, Fenrir, the solution is you have to say the orphans are your favorite characters now. Don't want to go quite there.
Let's
not
go.
You don't want to put that on the orphans, or you don't want to admit you like the orphans. So either way, it's still pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, they are annoying and quite possibly an enormous liability, and quite possibly cause more trouble than they should. But damn it, somehow they help the story going. Somehow
they prove useful. Well,
just here and there.
Should we get to this then?
Yeah, let's go with it.
Let's get things started. Gundam fight all set. Ready? Go!
And we're back to it. Now, so we're kind of going over the episode here a little bit. The Newtype Chandrable, which is episode 39 of 43 of the original Mobile Suit Gundam. And so we'll kind of go through it. We'll have a little slideshow, and then we'll kind of talk about it as we go. And without further ado, we'll be getting into this episode, which in the US, as a fun fact, first aired on September 12th, 2001. Yeah, kind of interesting timing on that release. But I think this might have also been the last episode that had aired in the US. just because
Hmm.
9/11, and then here's this big war
Oh.
story, and it really was some unfortunate timing, and I could see why they stopped airing it after this.
Yeah, it's kind of. You can really see it.
Actually, at least they quit airing it for like 6 months. But anyway, so when we last left off, the crew of the White Base and everything had gone, and the Federation had gone and attacked Solomon Base, and that was a big epic war where we were seeing the GMs getting put into battle and getting and we saw the big battle of all this going down. We got to see everyone's favorite character, Dozel Zabi, fighting with the big Zam. We got to see like the spirit of the Zombies and warfare. It was kind of an interesting little bit there. And now we're just kind of moving on to the next step of this.
Yeah.
Which I gotta say, as far as the setup is going, this is kind of I want to say this might be kind of a good place to kind of pick back up with it, because here we are sort of after the effects of of a big battle. And, while we might have gotten the chance to rest, our characters haven't.
Yeah, this is. Man, what I want to say. I'm trying to look up for the right words for this. This entire, specifically these entire scenes here. Okay, let's just go straight to the episode and begin it straight. This opening scenes where it's just literally shooting out of the blue. It's intriguing. They're literally showing all these people getting killed out of nowhere, and you're wondering where the hell this is going. And when they do that reveal, who's the one shooting?
Yeah, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good setup here, where you have the Solomon base seemingly cleared out with nothing around nearby. This is now the Federation taking this back over, and suddenly you're just getting your suits and pieces are getting shot and sniped out of nowhere. They can't pick up where the enemy is coming from.
Yeah.
Though
it's mysterious and it's quite intriguing.
And wouldn't you know it, there happens to be a red mobile suit out there. Who do we know that tends to like red mobile suits, I wonder?
Well, he normally wears a helmet, goes around and normally wears a helmet as a sister, goes around harassing the people of the White Base, and somehow has gained more fame than every other character in this entire show or franchise, especially the main one.
Oh yeah, he created an archetypal trope of a villain. Of course, we're talking about Char Aznable, the fucking best character out of this entire fucking franchise.
Yeah.
Real quick. Oh, where's the 3-man here? I mean, we didn't. We're kind of going into this. We're kind of just picking it up back up. Right now we're just down to a duo at the moment. But we're gonna ride this out for the last couple episodes, and then I guess we'll kind of stop and consider what to watch or talk about next. But
yeah,
that could be a talk for after the show.
Yeah, we got.
Also, hi Jace.
Hey Jace, how's it been?
So getting back into this, we see that Char and Lala are watching from a distance, studying. Although specifically, it is Lala herself who is our enemy.
Yeah, shooting from a distance with such proficiency, and you really not imagine a little girl like that to be this kind of destructive, with no remorse whatsoever, killing numerous men. She is terrifying.
Yeah, it's really unsettling because she's effectively pulling like a Damien, like a little evil kid, like Damien from the Omen, just like blowing stuff up with her mind.
Yeah.
Boom, and then it's like
Seriously. The way the art style even depicts her eyes, lifeless, it's just chilling in a way.
yeah, I was like, oh, this is exactly what humans do. We find something new, and we will find a way to weaponize it.
Yeah. We're gonna see that, but we're gonna see that a lot with the Newtypes.
Mm-hmm. And are they a advancement in the art of warfare? Which is kind of an interesting take on it ultimately, to see that the show seems to have this assumption of what the Newtypes are and what they should be, versus what human ingenuity and advancements have sort of suggested about us. How we are we, like, most any animal out there, are very territorial, will fight with others for that territory, for the control of those precious resources.
Yeah.
But we can also go to such great atrocities for that. The capability of destruction we have is great. And
yes, we are. It is said we humans, we're a species with the ability to create many great things, but at the same time, we are capable of creating so much devastation.
Right.
I mean, we look at fire and stones, build buildings, but then create nuclear bombs to exterminate said buildings.
Yeah, you're right. It's a little unjarring. Like, we have like you said, we have that capacity. We have that great capacity for creation, but we have just as great a capacity for destruction. And it's something to kind of consider with the Newtypes. What could humans do with that sort of power? And at the start of this, we're seeing just that glimpse of it.
Yeah, I mean, from what we get, they're the kind of, the trope of psychics who can literally just, like, the Newtypes kind of give the vibe of the psychic trope, and we always know how it goes when they try to weaponize the kind of thing. I mean, if anybody's seen Akira, we always know how that goes. It doesn't go well. I hope and I really am enjoying how they're doing the elements of war and scientific discovery, and I hope they explore it more in the other 5 episodes we got to see and show it well. But still, well done.
I think we move on. We'll move up a little bit here, just because, well, we get to see Kai hanging out, and he's which we see that the white base is undergoing a lot of activity, and as the white base is kind of going about trying to figure out, where's the enemy, what do we have, and they don't know, they can't find anything. There's nothing there.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure someone can feel something's going on.
Yep.
Get my drift.
So what we have is our heroes, our pilots being sent out. We have Amuro and Hayato, or Amuro and Kai being and Sayla being prepared to deploy just in case, because we don't know what's out there. But
despite one of them not being in the condition, still shows how a lot of these kids change from scared to now just really don't care anymore and just are willing to put their lives on the line.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, at the same time, they've been through so much. There have been so many battles. At this point, they know, if I sit back and do nothing, nothing's gonna. All I'm gonna do is effectively guarantee we're all dying. Like, how can I justify sitting by and doing nothing when I could have at least fought to save my friends here, the people that are helping to keep me alive?
Yeah.
And that's one of the that while the later half of the series was kind of rushed and cut off, because this was supposed to ultimately be 50 episodes. At 43 episodes, we're losing 7 episodes of potential plot, so there's a little rush, but I think it's kind of coming together here. Amuro
Yeah.
isn't being a little shit anymore. Kai is still
No.
smug, but he's been smacked a few times.
Yes, and he's grown some stones of mentality. The other one, God, I can never remember his name. This guy on the bed. What's his name again now?
Hayato?
Yeah, Hayato. Yeah, he seems to also have grown up into a fine soldier of himself, fine pilot.
Yeah, even he had his moment there. It'll be a brief one, which is a little unfortunate that he didn't really get enough time in the spotlight. But he had his moment to truly stand out. And here he is now, having recovered, saying he feels good enough to be able to resume the fight, which again is harkening back to what I was just saying, where it's time for me to do my part.
Yeah. No matter the pain. He himself killed.
And, of course, we also have the matter now of Challia.
Who is pretty much related to the enemy.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we finally get like that directly brought to the forefront for Bright here. At first, he wonders about how can I trust her, knowing she's affiliated with the enemy in this way. But at the same time, she's been here so long that she hasn't done anything.
Yeah, she's pretty much saved his life a couple of times already.
And I think that makes for an interesting complication, which I feel like would have been nice to have been better fleshed out ultimately, because
I feel this would have been better if it just went a little longer, showed it more that the trust was not 100% anymore, was a little broken, and just take it on for some time as they slowly start seeing it.
Right. So we get a bit of that. Challia is wondering about, is Bright going to be able to trust her? But as they're shipping out, we get explosions outside of the ship, and then Amuro starts to have a drug trip. Like it is straight up the 2001: A Space Odyssey scene where he's at like the edge of space, and like everything folds in on itself. Like he's in the space here where Megatron is getting upgraded into Galvatron, and
every time they introduce this mental connection with the Newtypes, I really enjoy how the art around them just alters itself. Really kind of makes it feel like they themselves exist in their own plane.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely goes pretty. It definitely feels like it gets into the psychedelics, which is interesting because it gets into Amuro sort of getting this mental link to Lala. That's where she seemingly melts into her dress, because I would rather not think that's pee.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like he's getting pulled in, and at the middle of this all is Lala, and so you get that link of the Newtypes.
Yep. Wastes of time here.
Unfortunately, I don't think I got a good shot of it here, but what you come to find out is Lala is using this Newtype capabilities to help control these what get called funnels.
I hear was just calling them long distance lasers.
Right, but the actual the franchise will go on to call them funnel bits, and you'll see quite a few more other Newtypes in the UC timeline using some different variations of this in future series. So this is kind of this is, well, not quite the first, because we sort of saw on the little tentacle arms a version of this. This is them effectively truly wireless, able to control them through all of the Minovsky particles, which is kind of an interesting twist, because this seems to sort of defy the rules of the universe with this, you know, because they can't use radio signals, and oftentimes where you see missiles, they're always like wire guided.
Yeah.
But these are able to bypass the Minovsky particle issue.
Huh. Really, this universe just uses Minovsky particles to get away with a lot of things, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I mean that's kind of the brilliance of using the Minovsky particle and introducing it as an idea, because it then is used to justify how the universe works. It's like, well, we can't use radio, we can't use like more modern, very advanced technology that we might see today, because this particle prevents a lot of the radio transmissions. So they'll have to oftentimes revert to either using effectively
Morse code machines, old radios, and
exactly
so on.
And it's like, while it also at the same time allows for the mobile suits to be able to work. So it then justifies the existence of the mobile suits. So it can kind of work like it kind of, you know, messes up the radar. Becomes all line of sight from that.
It's a two-way knife, basically.
Yeah.
You got the good stuff, but at the same time you have other stuff that aren't explainable.
So this new sort of connection to Amuro and all the use of the Newtype abilities is tiring Lala out. So Char has her pull back, while he and a couple of the Rickdoms are sent out to fight.
Yeah. Really? Yeah, let's see the Red Comet in action. But not really. It's just message filler.
Unfortunately, though, things don't go. We don't quite get that, because we have to recycle a couple of animation cells, including
they are freaking teases. Just teases, I tell you. It's gonna look like Char's gonna fight, and then they don't.
It looks to me more like a big, like, MMO sword, like stabbed into the ground. Like I think they have one in World of Warcraft. Like the sword of Sargeras stabbed into like the world wound of Azeroth. Because like you look, it's like with like the second floor here with like the big like bits on the sides here, totally looks like the hilt of a sword, or even like it's like a second hilt, and the actual hilt itself is at the ground. Like it's weird, but it's just this big, imposing, and obviously evil villain building from just all the sharp angles.
Huh. Okay, that seems like a weird design trick, but okay.
Yeah, it's like, well, you got to go and make your antagonist look imposing. Sharp angles are good at that.
Yeah, but there's a limit, exactly. I mean, there's making it imposing. There's just making it so exaggerated that it just gets silly.
Look, all I'm saying is the Xeon architects ran out of triangles when making this building. Like, they blew the budget.
I mean, look, I know I've seen the motion of both sides. Both are pretty much assholes, and there's no actual good and evil in this story. But seriously, the Xeon architecture kind of screams like Evil Castle.
Yes. But hey, it's supposed to be intimidating. What do you want to have like what was it? The Weenie Hut Jr. from SpongeBob for your evil headquarters?
No.
Oh, exactly.
No. Let's move on. Forget I said anything. God, that's just. God.
Meanwhile, in the Legion of Doom, we get a shot. We actually get to see the inside of the office of Giran Zabi, our fearless overlord of the Zabi family, and by extension, Zeon.
Yeah, this scene was quite very entertaining, specifically on the militaristic side, specifically on the intelligence gathering moments. How he had the whole move ahead of the new type guy, specifically how he explained how he just knew more about him than even himself, just some files of his story. Seriously.
Giran here is talking with a new character, Challia, who is an officer who is revealed to be a Newtype.
And will have a very long future in this.
Right. And as Giran Zabi begins to ask him questions, it becomes apparent that Challia is able to use these Newtype abilities to sort of anticipate and read what Giran is going to say and intends. That he wants Challia to be assigned to the sister Challia, and Giran and Challia is able to tell without being told,
showing to us that he is a new type.
Yeah. So
again, more connecting to new types to the psychic element.
One of the things I do appreciate is, well, also he looks simultaneously like he's 30 and 50 with just like super like all gray hair. But he looks like he should be a handyman. Like he should have like a flannel shirt on, and he'll like help. He'll put in a new door frame for you.
Well, who knows? Maybe his design was based on the handyman who helped the author here and there. Because you got to base your designs on something.
So Challia is a very loyal soldier. One who's there to do his duty. This is the kind of person who should be a good soldier, but unfortunately, he's caught in between people. A lot of people on the side of the Zeons who all have their own agendas, their own plans in mind. So it's what is effectively good soldiers and men like him, or our boy. I'm totally spacing out.
It's just sent to die. You see, he's a good man, but the people in charge want to use him for certain things that even he, would see as bad, and such. They have to manipulate the situation around him. Because in many ways, exactly. He has been.
It's the manipulators who cause these good men to suffer for sometimes just for a person to climb up a rank on the ladder, or just for a petty squabble. And it's unfortunate, especially considering he is also one of these new types, that even though he is one of these advanced people, he doesn't necessarily he isn't able to. It shows they're not completely omniscient to be able to tell everything going on, and it does to an extent, I think, show that there is a bit of a limit on the powers.
Yes, and it is good to be like that, because it would be the point if they all knew everything.
Yeah. But getting back to the actual moment itself here, Challia Bull here is going to be deployed to one of the 50 million Zeon mobile armors, because they sure love to deploy those.
Yeah.
In fact, it's one we've been familiar with once or twice now already. Another Brow Bro, which I put in our thumbnail for this week.
Yeah. The thumbnail should be very, very explanatory of how things are going to go.
Yeah. Visible concern. I'm here to be a good soldier, right? I'm here to be a good soldier, right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, about that. Next scene.
So we cut over to we cut over to Challia and some of her men, and
Yes.
Sorry, I am.
I normally
on
just
names.
call her Ninja Lady because you
She's
remember those
kind of
weird Power Rangers where the main villain was a ninja? She kind of dresses like one of those. Even for this design, seriously, everyone in design kind of dresses kind of silly.
Yeah, like it
The
goes with the territory, apparently.
The Federation at least kind of has sanity there still. These guys threw it off the window.
So we're with Challia and Challia Bull, where we're being told about where he's being sent to go work with Char. And of course we get a little bit of them like are talking among themselves. It's it's kind of like, oh, we're sinister. We're totally not evil people.
Typical Game of Thrones kind of stuff.
Yeah. So Challia is sent to go. He wants to go and test out the Brow Bro to make sure that it will work for his specifications, which, for the sake of being a good soldier, and good on him. You best make sure your tools work before you have to depend on them.
Yeah. They're doing inspection here and there.
But also, it's kind of put in here that if he proves to be a better pilot, that effectively he's going to be replacing Lala, which is obviously something Char does not like.
Yeah, it's obvious that he's gotten closer. I mean, but just it's obvious that he's not. This is the first time I really see Char not actually thinking strategically, because obviously Lala is someone that means to him, because it would have made more sense if he was a better pilot. I mean, he's older, has more experience in combat, better soldier, takes orders without more problem. Yeah, he's thinking with emotion, not with mind. First time I see him do that.
It's an interesting side of Char here, because like Lala doesn't serve his ultimate goal of revenge, and it's kind of a little kink to the character, a little I would say kink, but that doesn't seem quite right here, although someone might argue. It's a complexity to the character that this lava stuff doesn't ultimately serve his further purpose, but we've seen that the show doesn't just make them one-note characters. That he can, walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. And then pilot a mech 3 times faster.
Walk and chew bubblegum. Where did that come from?
I mean, it comes from, like, it's a bit of an insult for people saying he can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. So to say a person can't do 2 things simultaneously.
Okay. Let's move on. We are really getting out of the way here. Seriously, from robots to bubblegum. God, we are moving out of this.
I am here to pilot robots and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Here we get to see it finally taken off, and of course it's kind of goofy. It's like I mentioned, it's the Browbro has that sort of prototype of ultimately what would be the funnel bits.
Yeah. And it's purple.
Yes.
Clearly not the color of evil.
Something I've been we've been talking about with like on some of the other streams is having a good variety of colors. And like a 3-tone colors, these are fairly complementary colors, the orange, the black, and then like kind of a space gray. It's a good color balance.
Yeah, I guess. Message wise, not that great. Yeah, and seriously, it's kind of hard to defend the Scion when they're just clearly screaming bad guys.
Oh yeah. So we get a bit more of Char and Lala talking back and forth among one another.
Yeah, so specifically,
she's in the Elmeth is the name of this big green suit or this big green ship.
I just call it a tank ship because she can fly, hover.
They're in space. So
the gravity thing.
Exactly. Someone comments that she still doesn't have a jumpsuit yet. She's just kind of wearing what she wants. It's like, we'll get there eventually. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but she has powers, so really careful what you say.
Yeah, apparently she'll make like your spaceship explode.
Yeah. Don't want to be on the wrong side of that.
So the Browbro and the Zanzibar meet up, which is Char's ship, and we get to see the two of them meet, including Challia's handler.
Challia's handler.
Yeah, that's basically what she is. She's kind of playing the role of what Char is to Lala. Just kind of being a basically an extra handler to kind of look over a Newtype.
Yeah,
because
I gotta say I enjoyed Char's conversation with Shalom. It's very entertaining, specifically how they ended with him saying our race, specifically instead of the human race. Makes me think there was something else on that dialogue. And I really am curious, is Char a Newtype or not?
I don't, or at the very least now he's not implied to be one, and I don't think he ever is confirmed to be one. He's just that fucking good of a pilot. Yeah,
because it would kind of ruin a little bit of the mystique there if he was using the whole psychic powers thing all this time to get the edge. Kind of ruin the mystique. Keep him normal.
Right. I mean, like I said, he's also, I think Char also works for being just that sort of natural, that pure natural talent and charisma of a character, of a person.
Yeah. Damn right it does.
So we get a little bit of a back and forth here, and Challia is able to pick up on Lala being a Newtype as well. So you get a bit of you get more of that back and forth of them talking, and this is where you get Char talking about how he thinks the Gundam pilot may also be a Newtype as well, just given the capabilities of the pilot. So we're now at a point where they're talking about, well, this being an advancement of the arms race, where both sides now have these Newtypes in the battlefield as weapons.
Yeah, but now the Federation has at least one of theirs deployed, and they need to get theirs even faster.
Right.
Really good analogy to it.
Yeah, yeah. It is absolutely an extension of that arms race growth, where, well, they can't have the bomb. If they have the bomb, we have to get the bomb. What, the bomb's not good enough now? They have mobile suits? We need to get mobile suits. They have
Exactly.
new types. Get me a new type.
Yep. You always got to be on top. Or at least an equal footing.
Get more of that. Oh,
And
sorry.
now to the discussion of truth, where Shayla talks about her brother, Kozlov.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this has kind of been a long
I
time
can't believe
coming.
that's his name.
Kozlov?
Yeah. So
It is a little kind of that sort of, I want to say, European nobility sort of sounding name or something to that extent.
yeah, but I kind of expected something more cool.
Oh, they're French nobility. You know, it's like, oh, of course they have a name like Pompadour or Casseval.
Still, man. Still. Cassidy. Let's just move on.
So it's here that we get Bright and Sayla to sit down and talk about what was given to about the situation around Sayla, around what was given to her, and why she was talking with Char. It's a moment where cards have to be laid out on the table, and she can't keep hiding secrets forever. Eventually, some secrets have to come out, especially when lives are on the line. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Yep, just had to fucking spam calls.
Yeah, they need to break this barrier, this trust between them, because they're in a situation with an invisible enemy, and all trust must be 100%.
And so it's here that Sayla comes clean with Bright to tell him about how Char was her older brother, that she's fighting against him. And so I think largely to kind of prove that, in part, that she doesn't want any part of what he's doing, that she thinks that the fact that Casval or Char is doing what he's doing is a sign that he's taking the teachings of their father and he's perverting them for the sake of his cause of revenge, ultimately.
Yes. I'm more curious about how that goes, but yes, like.
And so the gold she was given to, buy her way to Xeon space. Instead, she says would rather have it divvied up among the crew because the white base means too much to her.
All that gold.
Yeah, it's basically Nazi gold,
What an odd yet very accurate description.
I mean, World War II. It's just one more thing you can point to say that a lot of this was so obviously inspired by the events of World War II and everything that had happened. I mean, you got to remember, Japan is at this point 25 years removed from the war, from the atomic bombs. Like, growing up with the recovery and the suffering and the battle scars.
I mean, it's still very eventful even today. There's still marks of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the trust is rebuilt, and they get ready for business.
Oh, excuse me. It has been a long day, and I apologize.
No biggie, man. We've all been there.
The enemy bases detect nearby, and so Bright orders that that their mobile suits and ships are all to be sent out to fight. Hayato wants to go out so he can go and get his revenge. And Amuro is concerned with the Newtype connections. He's wondering, is this Lala I'm about to face?
Man, that design looks like a crappy version of the Matrix of Leadership.
A little bit. Yeah, like, oh yeah, we just got the Autobot Matrix of Leadership. It's like we'll open it up, and it's kind of it's a crazy design, but it's got a good symmetry to it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
The Bravo is approaching, and Challia is let's see, realizes the Gundam pilot can direct the tough.
Well, he
And so
attacks Amuro.
Yep. So he attacks Amuro. And you're quickly seeing that as the battle goes on, that Amuro's complaining. The Gundam's too slow. He's fighting.
He's outpacing it.
Yeah, and it's such a great growth to see, I think, that at first Amuro had to purely basically depend upon the capabilities of the Gundam. And now he's gone to a point where, frankly, the Gundam is not fast enough. The Gundam is not good enough. The reactions are too slow. They're talking about how there are certain systems that are just not able to keep up. We need to replace this. He's definitely got this thing down. He knows this machine in and out. He doesn't have to fight with the instruction manual in his lap anymore.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to have to go to his dad to get something new for the Gundam. Man, that would be a weird visit. Very short conversations, too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Kai gets hit. And
yeah, not surprised there.
Which is a shame, because I think the other two suits are pretty underrated for as far as the Gundam trio. That I would have liked to have seen more of them.
Yeah, they're cool, but well, they forget one thing: they're not the protagonists. So yeah,
right. They don't got the plot armor.
Yeah,
they're not made of Gundanium.
They're made of regular stuff.
So despite the ship being too slow for him, despite the Gundam being too slow for him, Amuro was able to pretty easily avoid the attacks. He's able to predict them coming in, seeing them coming, even though they don't realize it at first that the Bravo has those guns on the arms, like extending out and shooting from such odd, unique angles. Like it's a kind of it's a really interesting suit design, although it's like really complicated, and it's really gimmicky is what it feels more like.
Yeah, but still pretty cool.
You're right. So we get more of that. Do I have a... Amuro's fighting, and he managed to take out one or two of these before managing to go in, blow the thing up, and Amuro saves the day.
Thanks to plot armor and psychic powers. And the new guy dies horribly. Again.
Da, 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 da. Yay, Amuro saves the day. And it's, in a way, it's almost kind of...
I want to cheer, but it's kind of not...
And so Amuro is kind of having to recognize the fact that the Gundam
is getting too slow.
that's effectively reaching its limits. You can only improve the suit so many times.
And sooner or later, it's not going to work anymore for him. It's going to be like trying to move a boulder with just your hands.
Yep. So, back with the Zanzibar. Ooh. Jeez, it has been a long day.
Mm-hmm. Well, back on the Zanzibar, where they discuss how Challia died and that he must be remembered well.
Lava says she wants to what? She wants to face the enemy. And Char's is saying don't underestimate them because you could wind up just like Challia. And we can't have that. Then meanwhile, back at the White Base, we're coming back to repairs, and they're starting to face that problem we were talking about. That
the Gundam is too slow.
Exactly.
They need to either upgrade it or make a new one.
Which, again, I suspect might have been part of that last 7 episodes. That they might have had to try and bring in a new Gundam to sort of like, kind of like how a lot of like the tokusatsu shows will go and put in one big like super upgrade at the end of the series.
Yeah.
And so with that, we end the episode.
Yeah, we survived Lyda.
Yeah. We survived longer than Challia.
Respect the dead, my friend. Respect them. We'll come back. But yeah, it felt good coming back to this. It's been so long. I mean,
right.
Still a couple of things we could have used on that one. The great speech, the crab walk. But I guess we'll take care of that next time.
Yeah. Let's kind of like fly by real quick.
There you go.
There we go. And eventually we'll just have to like. Eventually, I might have to, for like the last episode, just put together the great slap montage.
Of every slap ever in this show?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Or at least this one series, because like, look, there's so many other series. I don't know how many slaps there are in all of those. But hey,
there's more characters like Bracken Amuro. A lot of them go on.
But I mean, look, it's not just humans. It's not just human faces getting slapped out here.
Still makes no sense to me.
Look, like headmasters and like the power masters, it gets really weird. But it's a lot of fun.
Honestly, I've been getting into the UK Transformer comics. I gotta say, it is a fun read.
Oh, that dude, nice. How far in have you gotten?
Well, I've finished recently the issue where Spider-Man shows up and pretty much helps the coverage take down the Decepticons to rescue the father of the kid, Buster's dad. So yeah, I've stopped around there. I admit, I was really. If it wasn't the Marvel Universe, I really do not see the Transformers, the Decepticons actually taking over the Earth. Sorry, it's been shown they are very outgunned.
Oh, especially when you I think like maybe issue 9 or so, you get into like some of like the comic original characters. It's some interesting stuff, but we could save that for another stream sometime. We'll have to just do some like other streams,
Yeah, I've also enjoyed how they did Shockwave. I've literally seen the bodies of the bots mutilated and murdered. How they pretty much just drink up gasoline instead of Energon.
But again, that's
should get
not for here. We'll talk about some Transformers on another stream.
Yeah. Still, the UK UK comics is pretty good. I'm really gonna keep on going. It's pretty fun.
You've got that. You've got the IDW. You've got some of the IDW stuff to get into. Like, there's a lot of fun stuff out there. What do you say? Let's get out of here. We'll talk backstage. We'll talk about some comics.
Sure.
All right. Well, gang, that's it for this week. We'll be back. Check us out in the social medias. Yeah, hopefully you have some better luck. Hopefully you guys out there have your own protagonist plot armor. Because
Man, ain't that the way? All right then. Peace to you all.